In our next session, we're going to take you on a little trip to South Asia to visit two spaces who are making sure that we don't slip straight from this pandemic into the next catastrophe and trying to do their share to combat climate change, working with local communities, coming up with local solutions in order to avoid further crisis. So we're going to take you to Nepal and Bhutan to discover climate action makerspaces.
So this is Karma House 4.0. Basically, it has been over the last 5-6 years that we have been working and very closely looking into some of the existing challenges that we face and why we are doing this Karma House in honor and respect to the health, wealth, and environment. Here we will share you why we are doing the Karma House, in the process, how we are using the digital fabrication technology to build the local capacity as well as to build the innovative materials for this building of the Karma House, and also some of the rationales that we are facing right now currently in Bhutan. So this is a Karma House is a country-helix collaboration, meaning that it's not enough that only that FabLab or the maker community alone as in silos are building this, but I think it's equally important also to look at the overall government plans so that whatever learning we have, we can actually transfer that to through the horizontal collaboration approach. So therefore, we also have government officials who are also keen in supporting us and guiding us on this to make this successful cases, trailblazer building cases in Bhutan. So our immediate challenge in Bhutan built environment is that in environmental aspects, due to the rapid urbanization, rural urban migrations, right now, one of the biggest challenges is that most of the youths are from rural communities are flooding into the urban areas. And within that, due to all the buildings that is coming up in the urban spaces, it is actually having a very fatal challenges for the environment. It is degrading entire local systems throughout actually all these regions throughout Bhutan. We have around 20 municipalities currently. Now, when it comes to the energy, based on the Bhutan energy efficiency baseline studies that was conducted, it has shown that 48.7% of the energy consumptions are going directly into the built environment. And likewise, currently some of the resources that we are using is the firewood. And firewood also is a very hazardous as per the World Health Organization. And what is Karma House is going to be the first of its kind in Bhutan. And the whole idea of Karma House is to lead and accelerate the innovation, demonstration, and commercialization of green energy solution within the energy, water, metals consumption, and data by making powerful cases. So the powerful life cases is Karma House itself. And again, it is not enough that we are doing it. I think it has to be collaboration. That is the only way forward for everybody, whether it's government agencies, private institutions, or research academies, right? So therefore, we have been successful to form the Quantum Helix Innovation Playground. So the policymaker can also benefit from this Karma House learning and journey, as well as academia and citizens can actually come and live and feel life. How the Karma House was developed. Right? So for us, it's if it's a policymaker, we transfer the ownership of the Karma House to the policymaker in that region. If it's academia, then they can all. So basically, we are trying to open up ourselves so that the people, whoever with their respective backgrounds, can own and feel the ownership of that journey. It's a process orientation, not a result orientation. So that is the important work of the work that we are doing. So again, in 2017, there was field research that from the Germany and the Bhutan government, they have jointly conducted research on how is the energy consumption in the Bhutan. So they have there went to 10 different houses across Bhutan, and then they have made all the research, and based on that research and findings, so these are the 10 houses that they have looked into the traditional rant house, they have looked into the conventional buildings structure that is in Bhutan right now, and finding from this is like there's many findings, but above all is like the building envelopes in Bhutan are not really sustainable, first of all, because it doesn't have fixed joints and insulations that is important to preserve the indoor climate, as well as so when you look into these 10 findings, so we found out that we have to come up with the adequate skills and technology by harnessing the power of technology, and then open source fabrications. Then we can maybe build up the entire local skills, as well as solve some of the challenges that the built environment is facing in Bhutan. So in that process, so Karma House, in fact, Karma Lagishi, our director, she has been very supportive from the day one. Since 2000, this building Karma House is going to be a live demonstration. So we have the site located very in the middle of the center of the urban area. So it is good for people to work in from the street, government officials to work in from their offices to see and feel this. So it has been 5 years on the journey. Here we even reached out to many international research institutions. We have visited several different technologies hubs, because for us collaboration and innovation is not all about inventing new wheels, rather looking into existing part of the world and see if we could transfer some of that innovation to Bhutan, whether it's in other part of Europe or America or wherever it is. If we can collaborate that and then transfer that technology with respect to the nature, culture. So this is why we have come up with this. So Karma House is going to be a multi-purpose training center in the heart, and we will be having different laboratories up and running. I think some of the things that I'll share you 2 slideshows that what we are doing right now to build locally, manufacture everything, and that was accumulated over research that we have did it. So now in this Karma House, we are going to use the FabLab digital fabrication tools and equipments. So here we are going to build solar integrators roof tiles in Bhutan. We are also going to develop wood roof slabs that is going to be integrated, because all these materials are in abundance available in Bhutan. So now we are going to use these locally available things to use it and apply that into the Karma House, from solar roof tiles to the wood roof slabs. Even we are going to use the old plumbings pipes that has been thrown out. We are going to take that up and recycle that lands. Now we are also looking into the hot water, smart hot water thing, where we're going to integrate some of the technologies, so that it can be 5 to 10 times faster than the conventional. At the same time, it is going to be environmental friendly. Likewise, we also have been looking into the entire construction systems. Like we are using some of the digital fabrication right now. Everything is done manually in Bhutan. We are introducing some new technology. Now, from the findings earlier, also found out that the sealing of the building environment is not good in Bhutan. So, which means like windows and door elements. So we are also setting up the entire production system to develop our own windows and door fabrication in Bhutan, and then at the same time train the local to do both the production as well as installations. We are even doing our 3D printing modelings of these through the plastic recycled. So basically, it's overall that we are looking into, and this is something that now we are gearing to set up and then train the locals, and then use it Karma House to install all these things. So hopefully with this, it can safeguard the environment. We can use the locally abundant resources and develop the local skills, so that we can also generate employability. So this is overall that we are now confined with, and now we over post COVID-19, then we are ready to construct the Karma House.
Nepal Community, we are a innovation-led community hub based in Kathmandu, the capital of Nepal. We've been in this space since 2016. Business incubation, focusing on startups and SMEs is our flagship program. But apart from the incubation, we also have a co-working space. We lease out our training hall for different events. I mean, because we're a community hub that is based around innovation, so we're really open to innovators, change makers, entrepreneurs, artists, activists. So we really kind of work with different people to try and bring to try and look at innovation from different lenses and from the perspectives of different people, right? So that's how that's how it also is a co-working space. We have community events. We tend to do an eclectic sort of programs. So apart, like I said, in addition to the incubation, the co-working space, we also host programs. So one of the programs that we hosted in 2019 was the American Arts Incubator. We had an American artist stay with us for a little over a month, and she ran workshops around digital fabrication, which would then help women's empowerment. So we had a group of really charismatic Nepali women and men sort of working on women empowerment issues and kind of visualizing it in the art space. And apart from that, we finally have the first FabLab in Nepal, the digital fabrication lab in Nepal. They're with us. We're super excited. I don't come from the engineering background, but coming from a management side, I see so much of potential that FabLab has for the entrepreneurial community here in Nepal. Yes, it's in Kathmandu right now, but hopefully with the situation improving, we get more people interested, more communities interested in the work that FabLab is doing. So yeah, we're really excited that we have it here, and we've got all these really cool machines. I mean, I did my PhD in an engineering department in the manufacturing institution. So I'm like really excited to have these machines, and it's just sort of a new learning chapter, really. Yeah, so currently what Nepal Community does is we run a business incubation program that runs from 10 months to 1 year, but we kind of curated and customized it based on the requirement of the project and the enterprises. So the Tourovation Hub specifically is actually an 18 months project. So the first part of it began with an inception study to just understand what's happening in the renewable energy sector and what do tourism enterprises need right now, right? I mean, apart from COVID, also there are challenges in terms of sustainable innovation, infrastructure, transport around tourism, and we are a tourism hub. Tourism is one of our largest industries that employs a lot of people. So yeah, so in that sense, what ICIMOD envisioned is how can we support these enterprises to become more resilient, more climate resilient, to be more specific, right? So, and then based on this premise, we started off with an inception report to understand, talking to different stakeholders across the public and the private sector to look at challenges and opportunities. So it commenced with that. Then we moved on to a 6 months incubation program, which comes to an end in May, this month, really. And then what happens is, so we are currently incubating 8 enterprises right now. So we don't do it in like large numbers because it's also to do with the quality and the kind of support. So we did have a selection process where we use the design thinking approach to really select these enterprises. So we had 2 3-day design sprints in September and October, where we selected 8 enterprises, because the whole premise is to start off with what their renewable solution is and to see how it kind of fits into their business model, right? So we kind of started off with that in the ideation phase, and then now in the incubation phase, these 8 companies, we meet with them. So in terms of what you were referring to operations-wise, we meet them them for coaching sessions and monthly master classes. So the coaching sessions are really 2 business coaching sessions and 1 financial coaching session. And then once a month, there's always a topic that's most relevant to them that we run a half-day workshop. And usually it tends to be full-day workshop, but because of COVID, our entire program is now virtual for Tourovation, but we're learning along with helping the enterprises. So that's the incubation phase. From the incubation phase, the 8 enterprises then go, out of the 8, 4 will go into the acceleration phase, right? So these are SMEs. Sorry, I should have highlighted that. For this cohort, we are working with SMEs. With our other cohorts, we tend to work with startups, more so early stage startups. So yes, so now 4 will move into the acceleration phase where we'll help them find investment, and then we provide them with post-investment coaching, and the program wraps up in December at a Green Tourism Expo where all the 8 enterprises come and talk. Yeah. What we have been learning about helping the tourism enterprises become more climate resilient is, one is the adoption of renewable energy solutions, right? Both at the energy production and the consumption side of it, because there is a lot of information, there is support, but it's not really out there for a lot of tourism enterprises. So I think some way in terms of to facilitate, to help organizations understand that renewable energy solutions are not limited just to lighting, right? Because right now there is also, if I may say so, a perception that, oh, it's only for lighting, right? The renewable energy sources are only for lighting, but that's not it. And given that some of the enterprises that we work with are in a mountainous terrain, it is important to kind of work through this perception and say, no, it can be used for more, right? The other thing is the use of plastic also, when we're talking about single-use plastic bags and bottles, which is a lot of, creates a lot of sort of environmental consequences for some of these companies and kind of around waste management, right? So this is more within the climate resilience part of it. And I think in terms of interventions, so hubs like the Tourovation Hub is important because it supports tourism enterprises to then design these resilient business models that integrate renewable energy solutions, right? Because it's great to say that, oh, let's have all these enterprises adopt renewable energy solutions, but what kind of solution do they need? What kind of renewable energy actually works for them? Is it solar? Is it wind? There's a lot of also importance around water filtration systems in a lot of the places that our enterprises are working in. So that's it. So how can incubators like us, we are at a nascent stage in Nepal where incubation comes, but we're slowly working towards kind of taking it out of Kathmandu also. It's very Kathmandu centric. So we are hoping that there will be incubators across Nepal in the different provinces, right? And the other key thing is really access to finance for scaling up and for innovating climate resilient enterprises, right? There are some impact funds around. The banks are really keen on supporting enterprises, not only tourism in the sector, but agriculture and others to support it. But yes, I think it's also this kind of making all of this information much more accessible and visible is also one of the other challenges. And I think collaboration, what we've learned from our experience in work through working in the incubation space, is it's really important, right? Because we as an incubator, we really need, we have our expertise, but at the same time, we need sector experts working with us. Really, this knowledge sharing is crucial. And I think with ICIMOD and Salco Foundation supporting it, we've seen how fundamentally it can be and how we can always sort of seek our partners. And we have a steering committee. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. There are people representing from the private and public sector here in Nepal who are supporting us. So we see that also as a very important element to be taking this work further in Nepal. Yeah.